Hello, yes, everyone. Welcome back to the Couples Money Revelation podcast. Thank you again for all your support. I know it's been like a month since I've had this final episode of this season, but I wanted to kind of finalize an episode I did last season because I've seen a lot of questions come up about more and more about bankruptcy, debt consolidation, and other options to, I guess you could say, put a temporary band-aid on. So this is gonna be a short episode, but I did have some other points that I wanted to make about it. And I know I've discussed debt consolidation a lot in the past, but let's kind of deep dive into the category along with other things I've heard, like I said, in the last, especially 2 months or so. The question that comes up often is, Brian, I want to know more about these online debt consolidation companies, as well as some information on bankruptcy. Obviously, I can talk about this all day. I cannot talk too much about bankruptcy. I'm not an attorney, so definitely get in with an attorney, but I can give you some feedback on what bankruptcy overall looks like, at least, and some things to consider when you're talking to an attorney. So let's answer this online debt consolidation company thing first, right? In-person companies as well. Are they good? Which one should I choose? Should I do it? Is it right for me? All that good stuff, right? Let's start with the online one. Guys, it's a very dangerous world out there online. Obviously, I was in banking and credit unions for 6.5 years. And so a lot of these companies have come across my plate. I've done a lot of research on them. I've heard feedback on a handful of them. This is kind of my wheelhouse. So let's talk about first the mindset about debt consolidation before we even talk about it, and then I'll deep dive into the companies and options. So debt consolidation seems to be all around lately. Inflation has really killed all of us in the last 2 years. It's consolidation options are online. They send you stuff in the mail. They promote it at your banks. It's literally everywhere, you guys. When I was at the credit union, it kind of looked a little bit like this. Client came in, right? Client came in. Client had X amount of debt and credit cards. Wanted to consolidate those cards into one loan. We figured out what they could get approved for, or if they could approve, paid off the cards on the spot, or did a direct check to the companies. That's usually how these work. And they went on their way, right? Ready to pay their first payment, maybe about a month later. So, but here's the danger of what I saw about 80% of the time. They come back to me maybe 6 months down the road and say, I need more money. I just need more money. We'd review their credit, and sure enough, some of the credit cards had been used again. So it was just like a temporary band-aid, is what I keep going back to, right? And it's a cycle, but it's kind of why a debt consolidation loan is just the start. Now, if you're going to do this process, the mindset needs to be completely changed almost instantaneously while it happens. For most, that isn't going to happen very quickly. Things take time. The old saying was what? Your grandparents probably raised you and said, hey, it takes 3 weeks for a habit to minimum to grasp. It's definitely applicable here, right? If not more. What I saw often during this process really relates to timing now with my financial coaching. Had I had my own coaching business back then, this would be the point of the conversation where I'd step in to work with clients, show them the importance of a budgeting plan, how to avoid future debt, save their money, not go back to the rabbit holes, as I call it. But I wasn't there. Habits can't always be built on their own. That's another thing, right? It takes an army sometimes. My example is the therapy that my wife and I do, as well as our son. That's a great example, I think. We as a family team just admitted that our needs in our past were way too much to sit there and overcome all on our own. Great example. Habits in everyday life need guidance, need an outside source to take a look at the situation. That's the best way to write it. That's the same thing in this scenario. Some things in life are just too powerful to overcome on your own when it comes to money and past experiences and debt and everything. It's okay to have an outside perspective. Now, the other thing I brought up today was bankruptcy. Now, I'm not an attorney. Once again, I'm not making any, calls on this. So please, just giving you some basic information. Don't write me up or, report me to the Better Business Bureau or anything. For more information, just get an attorney or get with me. I can refer you to some attorneys, definitely. They can talk more. But what I want to do is discuss the ramifications and what if when it comes to your money future with that word, right? So what I like to look at is what are your financial goals in the next 1 to 3 years, especially with this category? If you answered, I want to get a mortgage, a house, buy a big car or something like that, bankruptcy could be holding you down if you do that. See, when you declare bankruptcy, it does wipe out some history for sure, depending on different chapters and all that stuff, right? But just like anything else related to starting over, you now have to start from the bottom and work all the way back up. Building credit, believe it or not, is going to be needed. There's a reason I shouted that into the microphone, no matter what you read online. When you wipe out everything, you guys, with bankruptcy, lenders are now going to look at it as, okay, what payment history do I have now to go on to consider you for this mortgage or car? You just basically wiped everything out and started over. A lot of people don't think about the ramifications, you guys. They listen to family members, they listen to friends, cousins, uncles, whoever gets in their head, and they just pull the trigger. Then it's too late to go back once you do that. So unless you have a lot of cash laying around and are planning on buying a car in cash or house in cash, which a car can be done, I suppose, but a house is a little bit less likely right now, right? Then you're going to need to rebuild your credit and payment history. Again, right in my wheelhouse, credit. Ooh, I love building credit. I love showing people how it's done. It's what I did for years. And during that time, I learned a lot of tricks to do it the right way. That's the key. Your bankruptcy also can stay on your report for many, many years. Does it disqualify you necessarily 7 to 10 years for a home? Not necessarily. There's some workarounds nowadays. But everything from that day forward, though, needs to be flawless pretty much to be considered even in the coming years for loans. They need to go based on payment history. No one's going to sign in as a lender, look at your report a year after you file bankruptcy if you haven't done anything in terms of rebuilding your credit, improving, and say, hey, this guy, every obligation this person had, they bankrupted. They gave up on it. I have no payment history to go based on. Why should I give this person a mortgage? Why should I give this person a car by themselves? They have to prove to me that they're willing to pay and can pay for a year, 2 years, whatever it takes, so they can actually feel justified. Because they can get fired for that stuff, you guys. Trust me. I knew a lot of the lenders. I knew a lot of the underwriters. They had to make perfect detailed decisions on every approval. Why should I approve this? Why should I counteroffer it? And if they did something and 6 months down the road, that person defaulted on that loan or whatever it was, their boss is going to look at it, review it. And if they don't understand why they did it, they're going to get written up and maybe fired. Ramifications, guys. You have to prove without reasonable doubt, without reasonable doubt, that you can pay back a loan. You know, the truth is what we need to hear right now. And that's what I'm providing you with this. Like I said, this was a short little blip of a couple things. If you have any more questions on these items, please feel free to reach out to me. Set up a free call on my website. Brian@MadeleineFinancialCoaching.com is my email. You know, text me. That's on the website. Reach out to me on social media. Hey, I got some more questions. Hey, I could maybe use some help with this. I set up a free call for you guys. Give me a call. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I do. I'm here to help the right way. You guys, I appreciate, again, listening every single time, watching every single time. My crowd out there, I appreciate you. My clients, hopefully my future clients. I'm here for you. If you ever have questions, just reach out. And until next time, stay blessed and stay positive. We'll see you soon.